We've been in this house 40 odd years. We're still going to stay until they carry me out. We were 10 years in Marble Canyon. I was 15 miles to the nearest neighbor, so only one way to get out was ski, and the government wouldn't give me a ski. I bought a $15 pair of U.S. condemned stuff, and I skied to get out of there. The one good thing about Marble Canyon, some people used to stop at my place when I was a bachelor and living alone. It snowed in for 6 months. They eventually got a kind of a road through there in about 47. One foreman stopped in one day. They always stopped in. And he said, "Oh, that damn Murray, he left me stuck with 2 women tonight in Banff. What the heck am I going to do with 2 women? Well, if you're really stuck, bring him out here." He didn't get stuck with 2 women, he got stuck with 4 women. This is one of them. They did show up. We had a good party. They all went home on Sunday, supposedly.
Is that her?
Oh, she went too. But Monday, I'm down scrubbing the kitchen floor, all a mess, and 2 ladies come to the door. One of them was Irene. She just had to have a second look at this mess, and it just went from bad to worse. And we're still together.
Well, he was tired of working for the parks, so they wanted to send him to Point Pelee to make him a superintendent. And he was the chief warden, he wanted no part of that. And I think we went there for a visit, and that was the end of his career with the parks.
The post office came vacant, so I took it.
Yeah.
I'd had a little army. In the army, I was a postie for a while, a few things. Anyway, didn't have no trouble getting it. Just walked across the street and changed my hat, and we're a postmaster for, I forgot how many years now. 17 years altogether, anyway, in the post office.
Marilyn is the one that actually came out first, and she called me and she says,
So brave.
"I've got the most wonderful mountain just outside my window. I want you to come out here." So I
Now.
quit whatever I was doing in Ontario and moved out, and
Yeah.
I came to Lake Louise.
She never went back.
Well, I was in college in Toronto. I was taking travel and tourism. It was mostly geared towards travel agency work, and I didn't want to be in an office, obviously.
Yeah, no.
I wanted to basically travel. I guess that's what interested me the most. And I got a job at the Chateau pretty easily, chambermaiding. Start off, in 74. I came out on the train. Had no idea what to expect, snow like crazy
Yeah.
in May. But I just kept coming back actually I did 2 summers, and once I did 1 winter, that was it.
When we first came to the chateau, it's where I met the most wonderful man, Mike Ferfaro.
He is too.
And and so we started going out, and then I sort of became pregnant. And there was no place to live in Lake Louise with babies at the time, so we came to Field.
I was here in a few times before 1977 with my husband and the 2 kids, and I always said to myself that if I get rid of him, not really, but if I would move over here.
It's been a plan.
It was a plan since 1977, really, to move to the mountain.
The canoe started in 81. We would rent 3 canoes a day. Make $15
For
a
the
day.
first, how many years?
Yeah.
The first
well,
couple
since,
years?
until 86.
And then in
Yeah.
'88, we decided to start the rental shop. The winter outfit started the ski club and started renting cross-country skis, and we had gifts in there as well, and the gifts really took off.
That's how everything started. We all ended up with a nice job, didn't we?
We did. We've been doing that for 15 years now.
Then there's the
Pretty-
beautiful canoe trips you can take first thing in the morning.
7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, and it's very, very beautiful.
I've been making pottery since 1971. I used to skip classes to go up to the workshop and make pots. Anyway, I finished university and went to work as a social worker and in a prison, and then as a parole officer. And, it just didn't do it for me. So I enrolled in night classes at Red Deer College. That's where I met Ryan. He was helping to teach a credit art class. And Ryan's dad phoned us one night and he said, well, I know you guys are thinking about moving to BC and there's jobs in field. Our jobs were at the CPR bunkhouse. I was a waitress on the midnight shift, and Ryan was snapping sheets. At that time, field was paying really high prices for power, and the whole community had come together and formed a trust fund and stopped paying their power bills to the power company. They were paying them into this trust fund in order to get a subsidy somehow from the BC government. And the power bills out at this trailer we were living at were killing us. The power bills were like $400 a month. Frank Berline used to have the general store here, and he was trying to sell the building. He had a fairly hefty price tag on it. And Frank said, okay, he says, I'll rent it to you. But the rent is going to be $600 a month. And we said, well, that's okay, because we knew there was a place to live upstairs. After 18 months, we went to Frank, and he said, I'll drop the price of the building, and I will just consider that the rent you have paid for the last 18 months is your down payment, and I will carry the mortgage. So really, a bank never would have touched us. But here's Frank, who saw the potential, who saw our commitment to wanting to fulfill our dream here, and he really took a risk on us. He treated us like we were part of his family. And how many places would you go and find that?
1965. My father and I came up here. My father was a foreman for the railway, and I worked in the art office during the summer. Eventually moved to Revelstoke, finished school there. I came back here in 1970. When I got out of school, I went to Europe for a bit, and when I came back, the CPR phoned me and asked me if I wanted to go back to work, so I did, and I've been here ever since.
I'm a prairie transplant, so when we first were married, it was very different. And I know that women who were brides and came and, basically shooed wolverines off their porch were from another era. But at the same time, for us, I found it quite an adjustment living in a place that was so little. The one thing I remember about my first winter here was just how much planning ahead you needed to do for whenever you wanted to make a special meal. I was pregnant at the same time, so we had to coordinate our doctor's appointments. I was trying to get involved into community activities, and fortunately, the community did embrace me.
In the winter, when the highway closes and all the people end up at the info center, and I remember this one winter, there was too many people for the info center, so
That's
they
right.
brought them to the school,
Others.
and everybody got mattresses and blankets and sleeping bags and
all
pillows.
the
and
people from town.
this is a Yoho blow, like you can't even see where you're going, and we're loading up these things in our car and just driving to the school to deliver these.
There was,
Essentials for the people to sleep on.
125 people there was. At the
Those
school and 75 at the info center or
those
something
times
like
are
that.
incredible.
If you live here, you gotta like the winters. You don't like the winters, you don't live here. You gotta like some kind of winter sport. Skiing, hockey.
I like all the snow kits, because then we can build jumps in our backyards and go off with our skis and snowboards.
Play snowball fights, go GT and go skiing.
Skiing and snowboarding.
When we came here, there wasn't a soul skied. We got things going. People got skis. There was a nice hill out there with trees on it. You shared the slope. Then Banff was remodeling some of their ski equipment, and their old rope tow was up for grabs, so we grabbed it. Didn't pay anything. Put it on here, we had a rope tow. You just grab the thing and
The ski club is wonderful because, people don't believe that we have this many 40 kilometers of groomed trail. And for a small town, and everybody works on it, like in the winter. It's wonderful.
Volunteer work, yeah.
Our hockey rink is really well used.
Ice hockey rink in the winter. Yep.
Just joined up in ice hockey this year. Just got a whole bunch of equipment.
And the kids get down there every night.
I like hearing your name on the speakers when you score a goal or something.